The moment her voice cut through the room, something shifted inside me, quietly, almost politely, like a blade deciding which direction it wanted to fall. I had barely touched the stem of my glass when she stepped forward, lips curved into that polished corporate smile she inherited from her mother, not her morals. "You're fired. Security will escort you out." The room froze. Executives pretended not to stare. My wife looked away. Of course she did. I let the weight of the words settle, sinking without sound. Then I placed the guest badge on the table with 2 fingers, slow, deliberate, the way you return something that never truly belonged to you. "Tell Mom and Dad the board will meet in 3 hours." Her smile twitched. 3 hours later, well, she still hadn't figured out what that meant. But I already knew the shape of the next thing that would break her. It had been forming for months, quietly, painfully, inevitably. My phone buzzed in my pocket, a single message, 6 words I had memorized the moment I first saw them. "We need to talk. I'm sorry." That was the real beginning, the moment the ground under my life shifted long before she fired me. Tonight wasn't an ending, it was simply the point where the mask slipped off completely, and I'd been waiting for it. The message arrived 3 months earlier, late at night, while my wife slept beside me, peaceful, untouched by the chaos she had crafted. It wasn't from a stranger, it was from her sister's ex, the man she swore she hated, blocked on everything except the one forgotten app she assumed I never checked. He wrote like someone who had just realized the room wasn't empty. The apology, the guilt, the reference to the nights you said you regretted everything. At first, I didn't believe it. I let denial wrap itself around me like cold water, numbing before it drowned. No, not her. Not after everything we survived. But suspicion has a sound, a faint crack in the walls of a life you thought was solid. I started noticing things. Her sudden late meetings, her sister's sudden friendliness toward me, polished, tense, avoiding eye contact. My wife's new perfume she claimed was a company gift, but I'd smelled it before, years ago, on someone else. And then the way her phone always turned upside down on the table. Small fractures, tiny shifts, enough to tell me a truth was struggling to surface. But I said nothing. Silence is where truth feels safest. People confess more with what they hide. I began watching without appearing to watch. A quiet investigation, one that required a calm face and an increasingly fractured heart. Phone records, location logs, receipts she forgot to delete because she believed routine protected her. I learned to breathe through the fog of my own suspicions. I learned to smile while pieces of me began to rot from the inside out. I found messages, hidden threads between her and her sister, late-night confessions that blurred the lines between business and something far more intimate. The words weren't explicit, but emotional betrayal never needs to be naked to be exposed. And then there were the transfers, small, deliberate payments from her sister to my wife, marked as reimbursements, but for what? The same week those payments began, my position in the company quietly shifted. Responsibilities revoked, meetings held without me, projects reassigned, all signed off by her sister. A family conspiracy wearing the mask of corporate restructuring. I didn't explode, I didn't confront. I documented, I assembled, I prepared. People think revenge is heat. They're wrong. Revenge is cold, quiet, a slow stirring beneath ice. The final confirmation arrived in an envelope, a simple manila sleeve from an investigator whose name I'll never repeat. Inside were photos, phone logs, hotel timestamps, proof that my wife had been meeting her sister's ex long before the inauguration party was even planned. And there, stapled neatly on top, the part that made everything click. A memo drafted by her sister months ago requesting my termination, just waiting for the right moment to execute. She wanted me out of the company. My wife wanted me out of the marriage, and together they intended to break me cleanly, efficiently, quietly. They underestimated the man they were trying to dismantle. That night, I walked into the kitchen, placed the envelope on the counter, and asked a single question. How long? Her face collapsed. Not with guilt, with the realization that I already knew everything. She reached for the envelope. I pulled it away. Her hands shook. I didn't. 3 hours after her sister fired me, the board sat across a long table, expressionless, waiting. I placed my evidence down like a surgeon laying out instruments. Financial misconduct, nepotism, ethics violations, a personal affair interwoven with corporate decisions. Her sister walked in. She walked out broken. The board voted unanimously to suspend her pending investigation. My wife rushed in moments later, breathless, mascara streaking, asking me to wait, to listen, to fix this because we are still us. I looked at her the way one looks at a stranger asking for directions. No. That's all I said. And when her sister whispered, "You ruined everything," I finally let a thin, surgical smile surface. No, you did. I just stopped pretending not to see it. I left the building without looking back. The cool air felt like a kind of rebirth. Not pleasant, not freeing, just honest. My marriage was over. Their empire was collapsing. And for the first time in months, my mind was quiet. Betrayal doesn't destroy you. It reveals you. And them? They revealed exactly who they were. As I stepped into the street, a strange calm settled over me. Not victory, not satisfaction, just clarity. Some truths don't heal. Some truths simply cut. And I had learned to stop bleeding. Final line, they fired me, but I was never the one who fell.